Hey friends, so you just finished reading this book and you're just now recovering from that depression it gave you, and you need something to get yourself out of that reading slump. I got you covered. So I'm actually going to start with what personally got me out of the reading slump after I read Onyx Storm, and that is Butcher and Blackbird. I had the hardest time reading fantasy after I finished Onyx Storm. And I had to go in a completely different direction. So I went with this one. It was on my TBR for a long time, and I am so happy I did. It's fantastic. It is dark, but it's hilarious. And I was honestly shocked at how much I loved it. And essentially, it's two serial killers, Sloane and Rowan, and they meet because they actually go after the same guy. They are after the same person. And from there, they decide to have a little competition between them in unaliving people. And as they go through their escapades there's a lot that goes on, but they end up falling in love. And honestly, for all of the really dark stuff that happens in this book, the love story between the two main characters, Rowan and Sloane, is so cute. Like, it's adorable. And honestly, I loved it. It really helped me get out of my reading slump, and I was able to continue to reading on, and it's fantastic. Highly, highly suggest this one. So this next one I actually just finished about 2 days ago, and when I was finally able to read fantasy again after Onyx Storm, this is what I went to, and it's another one that had been on my TBR for a while, and I actually, by the same author, Danielle L. Johnson, I read The Bridge Kingdom and Traitor Queen right before I started Onyx Storm, and fell in love with those two and decided to go hop over to this one. And A Fate Inked in Blood, fantastic. It has Norse mythology, fantastic FMC. She is so strong, and I was so invested in her. And the slow, slow burn between the FMC Freya and the MMC Bjorn, love, fantastic. So definitely give this one a try. It's really, really good. You won't regret it. So the next suggestion I have for you is actually a duology, and that's Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vow. I love, love this duology by Rebecca Ross. It is beautifully written. It kind of has the perfect amount of fantasy with written within it. However, the love story really is central to this story here. Essentially, you have two aspiring journalists that are competing for the same position at a newspaper, and within the realm of there's a war going on between two gods. It's beautifully written. It's enemies to lovers. There's just a little bit of fantasy here. We have kind of these magical typewriters that play a huge part within it. You have the gods warring with each other. And I absolutely fell in love with this duology. This is actually, personally for me, this is the duology that got me back into reading. Highly, highly suggest. It does move a little bit slower, especially in this first book. You have to get about halfway through it before it really picks up, but it's beautifully written. And honestly, the ending of this series, the ending of the duology, is probably one of the most beautiful endings that I have ever read. It's not over the top, and it's just beautiful, and love it. Highly suggest this one. All right, and last but certainly not least, the answer to all of my problems, Throne of Glass. If you have not read this series yet, do it. It's amazing. We have no idea when book 4 of Imperium is coming out. You have time. This is an 8-book series. Do it now. You will love it. I promise you. So with Throne of Glass, again, it is a completed 8-book series. And what I love about it is that all of the characters are so well developed, and they all grow throughout the series. You have this plot that just keeps getting bigger and bigger, the world that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you are so invested. The FMC, Aileen Galathinius, she is amazing. She's the most badass FMC I've ever read. I mean, obviously, I am a fangirl. I love her. You have a lot of different characters. You have Manon Blackbeak, who is my number one. She is my girl. Love her. You have a lot of different male main characters who are all swoon-worthy. But again, they're very well developed characters, and you see them grow throughout the series. As the plot gets thicker and more complex, so do the characters. And again, read Throne of Glass. You will not regret it. It's amazing.